At the age of 15, I was a victim of date rape, and as a result of that, I became pregnant. And I was coerced into having an abortion by going to Planned Parenthood. After they gave me a pregnancy test and confirmed it, they said that since I was only 15 years old, that I really needed to have an abortion because I was too young and I was still in high school. And so they actually referred me to an abortion clinic because that particular clinic didn't do abortions, but they did refer me to an abortion clinic. And my friends were talking me into it, saying it was no big deal. I felt like I had no choice but to have an abortion. My sister had already had an abortion in the past, and she was convincing me to have one. And even though my mother had given birth to 9 children, she somehow was deceived as well and fell into the lie. It was difficult for me being so young, just a child, hadn't even been to a gynecologist before, and they did not allow my mother into the counseling room with me. No one ever took me to a pregnancy center to discuss keeping the baby or being in a maternity home or adoption, or that my baby was a baby. I was told that my baby was just a blob of tissue. It wasn't even a baby yet. And so I did have the abortion, which was a very traumatizing experience. I remember one specific thing I remember was when they were starting the anesthesia, I heard my mother's voice at the door, and she was saying, "Is my daughter in there?" And they said, "Ma'am, you can't come in here, you have to go back to the waiting room." So I know that she was trying to stop what was happening. As a result of having that abortion, I had 5 miscarriages during the 18 years I was married, and 3 of those miscarriages were tubal pregnancies that required emergency surgery, and the last one I almost died. They had to give me a blood transfusion, was just in 2004. And so I'm completely unable to have children as a result of the abortion that I had. So it was not better for me, and it's a very painful thing going to baby showers, holding other people's babies, walking through the baby department of the stores. I worked in a mall most of my life, and the styling salon where I worked was right beside the baby department, so I had to every single day walk through there to get to work. So it was really hard. I so wanted to have a child. I just really, they referred to it as an atonement baby to make up for the one that I took its life, even though at that time I didn't even know it was a baby. After each miscarriage that I had, I realized the life stage of my baby at the time of the abortion. With the tubal pregnancy, I was just excited to know that I was able to get pregnant. And so I kept trying and trying and trying. I refused to take birth control. Every doctor I ever met wanted me on birth control because I was such a high-risk pregnancy. And right before I really gave my heart back to the Lord, I attempted suicide. I was trying to cut myself on my wrist, trying to take my own life, because I just couldn't deal with, the fact that I couldn't be a mother, and I didn't know why I so hated myself. The self-hatred was really, really extreme at that point. So the Lord had to really deal with my heart on why I hated myself so much. And I started going to church again, and I was listening to the radio. They were having the world's largest baby shower, and it was the pregnancy center that was doing it. And I thought, wow, if I could just go volunteer for that pregnancy center and tell every girl that comes in there not to have an abortion, then I could redeem myself, is what I was thinking. And when I walked in to be interviewed for the position, the lady said, "Have you had an abortion?" She could just like see right through me that I had. And she said, "Well, you need to go through this Bible study healing first." And through that 12 weeks of healing, the Lord healed my heart. I had a lot of anger issues, a lot of blaming, a lot of self-hatred. And He taught me how to forgive all of the people involved in the abortion. I had an awesome opportunity to forgive the person that raped me and impregnated me. I had a customer that was actually his niece, and I did her hair for years before I realized that they were related. I had my post-abortion Bible study book on my station, and so my customers were asking me, "What is that about?" And so I would tell them my testimony right there while I was doing their hair. And she said, "Wow, well, who was the person that, And I said his name was. She said, "You are kidding me. That is my uncle." And so I said, "Well, I've forgiven him." And she says, "Well, I'm going to talk to him." So she confronted him about it and came back and told me, that he was sorry.